My name's Ely Delaney, and I have the honor of meeting some pretty cool people. These are the entrepreneurs, the artists, the creatives, the game changers that are making a positive impact in the people that they meet. And I'm a firm believer that the people that you meet can get you anywhere you want to go. And this show is my way of sharing them with you. It's my way of also helping you meet cool people.
All right, welcome back to the show. Ely Delaney here, as always. And this show is kind of a little special one for the very simple fact that this is one that is episode 58. So I'm putting that out there for the fact that I know which episode it is because I'm actually recording it and I'm putting it live right after that. This is, you could call it the Christmas show because it's going to go live on Christmas. You could call this the grateful for all the cool stuff that's gone on for the year, which is a good thing. But what I wanted to do with this one is kind of go back to the beginning and talk about where Meet Cool People came from and what it really means. And then also bring up one of the things that's very cool. I've actually just went back and looked at transcripts of a whole bunch of the episodes since the beginning. And we have a really amazingly cool theme going on with it, which is exactly what I was going for. So in case you don't know the story, Meet Cool People came to be when it's 2019, started in 2018, 2019. Every month I was on a plane at least once, if not 2 or 3 times, flying around the country, primarily speaking at other events, sometimes attending them as well. But that's pretty much where I got out there and I got to meet people. It's where I found clients, all that kind of fun stuff. But while I was doing that, there's one specific event that I actually spoke at quite a bit. And it was funny because they had this whole thing where they would have the MC would pass the mic around the room and say, okay, introduce yourself. Who are you? How do you help your clients? And what do you want to get out of the next 3 days? And people would go around and do that. Well, then they would hand the mic to the speakers, and the speakers would do exactly the same thing. The only difference is that the speakers basically, what they want to get out of the next 3 days is like, well, I'm going to speak and I'm going to teach you about this, and I got this really cool program I want you to buy. And I was just like, okay, that's lame. That's a stupid way to answer things. And I say this jokingly, but I am kind of serious. And so when they came to me, I was like, okay, so here's the deal. Yes, I'm going to be speaking tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about some follow-up and email marketing stuff, and you're going to learn some really cool stuff. There's going to be some cool stuff. Definitely want to be here. However, the reality is that I live in Portland, Oregon, which is where I lived at the time. And I'm flying all the way to Miami, Florida, which is where we were at the time. And I do this every month whenever possible. And it's almost as far continent, ocean to ocean as you can go. And reality is, yes, I love speaking. It's one of my favorite things to do. But the biggest reason I come and I do things like this is because I love to meet cool people. And coming here, I get to meet some of the coolest people. So I said that. That's literally what I said in front of the group. And the MC at the time, a guy by the name of David, took it on and was like, he totally ran with it. So when he introduced me as the guy who flies around the country just to meet cool people. And it took off. That was in April of it was April 2019. And it seems like it was later than that, maybe April 2020. Now my days are all off. And now that I'm stopping and thinking and looking at my notes and thinking about it, it's like, no, because it was early 2020. It was before everything blew up. Yeah, it was just before everything blew up. So whatever that was. And so I end up, I'm in Miami, and then I'm going to a mastermind. And that, like, from Miami, I'm not even going home. I'm going directly to Cancun for a mastermind. My friend Angel Tusi was putting that on. And as I'm there, this whole thing is like, meet cool people. It just started kicking out. And it was pretty cool because then I decided somebody else had the wristbands, and we all get those wristbands. Everybody hands out like candy, and nobody really wants to wear them because they just don't go with anything. And so I was like, I wouldn't like those, but I think this might be a good purpose for it. And so I had a mission behind creating these bands. I created a whole bunch of them. Then of course the world shut down, so I still have a whole bunch of them years later. But the whole thing with Meet Cool People came from the idea that I love to meet cool people. And that is the most fascinating thing in the world. Like, you've probably heard me say this. If you haven't, and this will be the first time you get to hear something that I say quite often, which is the people that you meet will get you anywhere you want to go. And so that's where Meet Cool People came from. And we ended up having a group once the world shut down. We had a whole bunch of people that didn't know how to deal with life doing 100% virtual, especially speakers like myself that were traveling all the time. We had to revamp not just our business, but our social lives. And, for a lot of people, that was really hard. It was very, very hard. There's still trauma from people having to basically be stuck at home and not being able to see the rest of the world. And fast forward, we've gotten over a lot of that. But I ended up eventually turning it into this mastermind kind of thing where I had weekly events that we did, all virtual. We've had some amazing connections. Some of my best friends have come from that. But fast forward to what Meet Cool People has come today. And I really love where it's gone in the big picture of the type of people that I have attracted for this show. And that's really where I'm leaning with this today, because I went through and I looked at the guests that I've had, and I've had some really, really cool people come on. And the reason is because I don't just let anybody on the show. There's no place on the website you can just sign up to be a guest on the show. I have people ask me, and many times I tell them no, because they don't fit the basic criteria. Because the whole point of the show was that I have had a great conversation with you. We hit it off. You've got there's something magical about you. And that's why I want you on my show. And so, to be perfectly honest, most people that do ask to be on the show, I'd say no. Most of the people that are on the show are people that I've asked, and I've personally asked them. There's been a few times where it's kind of been like, hey, well, could I possibly be a guest on your show? And I'd already had a great conversation. I was already thinking I wanted to ask them anyway. So, that one doesn't really count. But with all of that said, I've had some really amazing guests. And like I said, this is episode 58 right now. And I just took some notes, and I want you to kind of listen to the commonality here. Okay. So we go through all the episodes on this show. And, some of the early ones, we go to like episode number 4, Lisa Mannion, who I've been friends with forever. As a matter of fact, I met her through Angel that I had mentioned earlier. Lisa and I were both guests on the radio show that Angel had been on. And Lisa and I both actually were like on the show at the same time, like the same day or something. That's how we originally got introduced. That was back 2009, 10. I don't even remember when. It was a long, long time ago, and we're still friends, right? So every episode, I always ask people, what does Meet Cool People mean to you? And Lisa's response is kind of the nutshell version of it. I'm not going to read the whole thing, and I'm going to do that with everybody. I kind of have a recap or a shortened version of what they said. Lisa's definition of meeting cool people, meeting cool people is about authentically meaningful engagement and connecting with those that make genuine positive impact. Very, very well said. Okay, so it's all about people who make good impact, which I love that. I love that so much. So then I can go clear on the opposite end. And one of my newer guests, Tim Barry, he's a Sandler sales trainer. I met him through Success Champions. Super cool dude. We've spent a lot of time together. He's just really become one of my favorite people. And he believes meeting cool people embodies genuine connections, trust building, and continuous learning from diverse perspectives. Again, we've got, Lisa talked about authenticity. He talks about genuine, the connections. It's that impact that we make. We go back to episode 11, Thomas Keenan, another super cool dude. Meet Cool People embodies the essence of stepping out of your routine to form genuine connections that foster personal and professional growth. Again, we're talking about that authentic, genuine, those words keep popping up. And those connections, which is so, so, so powerful. Bravis Brown, he was in episode 18, believes that meeting cool people is about forging connections that lead to impactful relationships, shared learning, and collaborative success. Okay. Going back to episode 36, Sarah Schroeder believes meeting cool people is about creating meaningful connections that inspire personal and professional growth by bringing positivity and joy into our lives. Again, we go back to this meaningful connections. Episode 36, Andrew Biernat. Meeting cool people means fostering genuine connections and discovering new perspectives and opening doors to personal and professional growth through meaningful interactions. See, all of these guys have the same basic thoughts and ideas around what meet cool people means. And that is so cool, so great, because for me, those are the kind of people that I'm bringing in here. These are the kind of people that I want to know. These are the people that I want in my inner circle, my friends. And the whole thing about meet cool people is getting to meet cool people. And cool people means somebody who's doing something great. They've got a uniqueness about them, something that makes them stand out. Like Sarah is a great example of that one. Every time I see her, she lightens up the room. She's always happy. Lisa and I are very, very similar in thought process. And it's so funny because we think very, very much alike in how we work. She's also a copywriter like I am. We talk on different areas, which is great. But some of the things that I've heard her say in her business route are like almost word for word what I say. And it's just because we gel, we connect that way. Thomas, he and I met the very first time we met. We met at a business event, totally random, didn't know. We found out we actually had a lot of stuff in common and people that we knew in common. We had just not met before. And we geeked out about automation and CRM software and stuff like that. And we had this killer conversation with that, and it took off, and we ended up becoming friends because of that. Erica Andreessen was another one. She's a more recent. It was episode 55. She said, meeting cool people is about forming authentic, positive connections that enrich both personal and professional life. Again, we're going back to that same thing. I met her as an introduction through Jeffrey Casanova, who is also a guest on the show. And that's the cool thing about this is as we go through this, and as I'm looking at the guests that have come on the show, these are the people that are making change and a really positive change for the world. And what I mean is we're not, they're not doing anything like crazy fancy. They're not launching the new latest, greatest AI software or any of that kind of garbage. What they're doing is they are intentionally providing a positive impact and building strong relationships with the people that they meet. And that, I think, is what makes somebody cool. That's what really makes them stand out to where not only are they good business entrepreneurs, are they doing something that's changing a business aspect of things, but they're here to make a lasting difference in order to add value to other people's lives. And so, that was only a small count of all the people. I'm not going to go through a huge recap of everybody because you guys aren't going to want to listen to all that much. We're already like 13 minutes long, and I think I'm ready to wrap this up. But I wanted you to hear some of the words that people are saying and how they're saying these things, because the commonality here really is, if you want to be a cool person, which I think all of us really do, it really has to do with being genuine. And we can talk about authenticity, but so many people, they're overthinking the authenticity thing. I mean, reality is, I always joke about the fact I say, if you're trying to be authentic, you're probably doing it wrong. But if you could just be a genuine person, be yourself, be a genuine person that is connecting with other people, and you care about them and you want to see them succeed and you want to enrich their life and add value to their lives. And that doesn't necessarily mean business partners or people you network with, clients. That could be the barista down the street. That could be the random person that you happen to be standing behind at the grocery store. It really doesn't matter where that comes into play. But if you intentionally get up and you go out and talk about, and make a point to just enrich somebody else's life, to add value to their day. It could be as simple as just making them laugh for a minute. Because in today's world, we've got a lot of rough stuff that's been going on in these last few years. And, and if you know me, I definitely got a lot of that going on. I had a pretty rough 4 years. But reality is, one of the first things that I think about every single day is getting up is, who am I going to add value to today? Who am I going to help? And I don't mean help by my products and services. That's sometimes the answer. But it could be just saying hi to somebody, smiling at somebody, saying something nice to them. Picking up my phone, going to Facebook and doing a quick little 30-second video of happy birthday to somebody, which I just did today. Austin Brands, I've got him as he's actually going to be our next episode. And I just interviewed him, and, it's so funny because today's his birthday. So I pick up my phone and I gave him, wished him a happy birthday. It could be something simple, 30 seconds of your time. But a couple of things you want to be thinking about this time of year specifically, because we have one side of the fence where a lot of people are very joyful and happy over the holidays. And we have a lot of people that they have a rough time during the holidays for whatever reason. Maybe it's because of, past things with family, things that they've lost somebody, whatever the reason is. Some people are just, slightly bah humbug for the holidays, whatever it is. But I think this time of year, it's a good time to stop and really take note and pay attention to the opportunities that are around you. And I'm going to talk more about opportunities in the next couple of episodes. I have some stuff I'm starting to talk about with that. I have something really cool I want to share with you guys, but I'm not ready for that yet. So it's coming down the road. But look at the opportunities that are around you. Look at the opportunities, the people, the things, the pets, your pets that make you smile, that give you comfort, the people that are there for you when you need them, the people that even your friends you just go out and have a drink with or whatever, people that you network with, people that you're meeting on a regular basis, that that they're there for you. And it doesn't have to be anything big. Sometimes they just want to check in on you. And I'll call out a friend of mine that I can say, a big one with this, Tracy St. Croix. She's one I consider a very good friend. And the biggest reason that I've got that trust and that love for her as my friend is because when I had hard times, she shoot me a text every once in a while. Hey, just want to check in. How you doing? Not a big deal. She didn't need to do anything bigger than that. But knowing that somebody was there checking in on me made a difference. So stop and think about that. Get up in the morning and think about, who are you going to impact today? Who are you going to add value to today? And it could be as simple as a 30-second birthday video, or just thanking somebody for being there, shooting them a text like, hey, I haven't talked to you for a bit, just checking in, how you doing? It doesn't have to be a big deal. It could be something super simple, take you less than 30 seconds. But do that. Be intentional about that. And be intentional about being cool people. Be somebody that people want to hang out with because they know you truly are a genuine person that wants to add value. Just something to ponder, something to think about. I'm very grateful for all the people that have been on the show. I've made, some people were fairly new friends when we started. Some people have been friends for ages, years. But I'm very grateful for everybody who's been on the show. It really means a lot to me. And, if you celebrate Christmas, have a great Christmas. I hope you have a great day. I hope you spend it with friends, family. And if you're not spending with friends or family, just reach out to somebody. We live in this wonderful world. We have this thing called Zoom. You could just do a quick little Zoom call with a friend. And that could make their day better. So get out there, appreciate what's around you, appreciate the people, the things, and the opportunities that are there. And with that said, get out there, have an amazing day. If there's anything I can do to help you out, reach out, let me know. Take care. And that wraps up another Meet Cool People show. Now, if you like what you heard, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, or review so I can help introduce these amazing cool people to even more amazing cool people.
And just remember, meeting cool people is just the beginning. You need to have a system in place to follow up with the amazing people that you meet. This is exactly what we do for our clients. Now, if you'd like to see if my team and I can help you, go to convertmoreclientsnow.com and check out the case study video to see exactly how we're helping our clients turn casual connections into cash clients for life. Again, go to convertmoreclientsnow.com and see how we can work together to turn you into a follow-up rock star.